Live breaking news, everybody. Young Thug is free. The YSL Rico case with its principal defendant, Jeffrey Lamar Williams, Young Thug, changed his plea today and he gets to go free. Check this out. I've got all the details. And I'm going to share with you some amazing videos too. So let me get through this. Young Thug, 33, has been jailed since his arrest in May of 2022 on charges relating to alleged street gang, Young Slime Life, or YSL. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share with you this in just a second. Hang out for this. This is the Judge Whitaker. Brian Steele made a huge decision on whether or not to take the state's plea deal and have them decide the sentencing, or the judge. He gambled big time, took the judge, and the results were sublime. So he's been in this alleged street gang, Young Slime Life, with members accused of committing illegal violent acts, including murder, armed robbery, drug dealing, and carjacking. Our girl, Cash Money G. Willis, used Georgia's racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations, or RICO, statute to claim Young Thug and his associates are a street gang. But during Thursday's sentencing, Assistant District Attorney Adrian Love, the most corrupt DEI hire in criminal justice history, painted Young Thug as a central figure in the illegal acts, including allegations of murder, and cited rap lyrics promoting violence. Love asked the state to consider sentencing Young Thug to 45 years, with 25 years to be served in prison and 20 on probation. But Whitaker noted in her sentencing decision that prosecutors were earlier willing to let Young Thug get out on probation as part of a plea deal, as long as he testified against his co-defendants. Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, asked Whitaker to impose house arrest instead, and said the state misunderstood the context of the rapper's lyrics in claiming they showed he was encouraging gang activity. Quote, "They are in tunnel vision to try and convict a man who should not be convicted," Steele said. Whitaker, during her sentencing, said she appreciated the impact. Check this out. Here's the video right here.
A modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that that's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap. But whether it is fake or not, it has tremendous impact on kids and young people who think, this is cool, this is what I want to do. Look at him, he's a millionaire. I can do that by being, a gangster in the streets. And that's not true. What you're likely to have happen to you if you're a gangster in the streets is you get shot, you get killed, or you get thrown in prison. And those are, by far the most likely outcomes. And, you've been in here watching the trial, and you've seen the pictures of Mr. Ryan posing with a gun as big as he is at 15 years old and going out and shooting and killing another teenager. And that's what gangs do. And that's unfortunately a lot of what rap music does. And if you are a modern day John Lennon, he might have rapped too in this day and age. I don't know, but I know you're talented. And even if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go, and that there are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. And, I know that happens for protection sometimes, but a much better way would be getting an education and setting, hanging around with people who set a good example. And you be one of those people that sets a good example. All right, so that's my high horse on that.
Very interesting that the judge would say that John Lennon. Are you the John Lennon of this era? Very, very interesting. And so, essentially, she sentenced him with 15 years of probation, which can result in 20 years to be served in custody if probation is not successful. Let's go through the. We're going to also hear from Young Thug himself, but let's go to the actual sentencing now, where this is the full sentencing the judge saw through. It seemingly seems like the judge saw through the state's game and actually ruled that Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, is not a danger. He's free today. Let's check this out. Holy macadamia nut. Is this absolutely phenomenal? This is huge. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Here's the sentencing.
All right. So it is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration in crafting my sentence. And in permitting a nolo plea to the RICO count and one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the nolo to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts, and for the remaining counts with which you are charged. I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions from the defense and a little bit of the special conditions suggested by the prosecution. On count one, the court sentence is 20 years to serve 5 years, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years to be probated, and a $25,000 fine. On count two, the sentence is 5 years to serve, commuted to time served. That's the minimum sentence that's permitted on that count. It is required to be run consecutively. I'm going to run it consecutive to count one, but I am going to backload. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not commuted. That is 5 years to serve, and it's going to be run consecutively to count one, backloaded, by which I mean after you serve your 15 years of probation, if you have been successful on that probation, and I sincerely hope that you are, then at the end of that 15 years, I will commute the entire rest of any service portion of your sentence to time served. So I'll get to the end of it and give you the total sentence, but I'm also going to impose a $15,000 fine with regard to that count. Count 57, 20 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years probated, concurrent with count 1. Count 58, 10 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, balance probated, concurrent with count 1. 59, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. 60, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. Count 61, 5 years to serve, that is required to be also a consecutive sentence, so that's going to be run consecutively to count 56 and backloaded. Count 62, 10 years to serve, also required to be served consecutively. That's going to be consecutive to count 61, also backloaded. So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.
This is a huge victory for Brian Steele and Young Thug, and really Young Thug fans everywhere. My goodness, I can't wait to read your comments in the thoughts. This plea deal change by Young Thug, it almost didn't happen after Whitaker asked if he agreed to a non-negotiated plea. That means prosecutors and the defense could not come to a sentencing deal and that the judge would ultimately decide. The parties returned after a brief recess, and Young Thug agreed to plead guilty to drug and gun-related charges and no contest to charges of conspiracy and participating in a street gang. Whitaker, again, you just heard, sentenced him to 40, but commuted it to time served that he's already served, so he must complete 15 years of probation. He is set free today. Holy macadamian nut. I can't wait to see what you guys think of this. Let me know in the comments down below. And I've got a quick clip where we hear from Young Thug himself, which I think is actually really cool. Let's check this out. Let's see what Young Thug himself has to say. The judge asks him, "Do you have anything that you want to say?" I don't think anybody's even heard him talk this entire trial. Check this out.
That you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, my managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time invested into this, and I am a smart guy. I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart. I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you. And I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again.
A bar in the future.
I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides. I'm sorry to the sheriff, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, and I just hope
I love this guy.
You find it in your heart to allow me
the
to
guy's laughing in the
go
back.
home
Security.
and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, all people. I learned that late, these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy. I don't mind doing stuff like, like free shows. And I always did that. I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece. And I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, I do things like I put millions of dollars back into my community for real.
Okay, wow. I really like this guy a lot. Holy mackerel. He is really, really good. Okay, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. So, Young Thug, who is the principal defendant in this case, goes free again on 15 years probation. I think he absolutely hit it out of the park. He's got an amazing attorney in Brian Steele in a major corrupt system by Cash Money G. Fani Willis. Let me know what you guys think. By the way, the trial resumes for the other defendants like Yak Gotti and others. So it's not over for a lot of other people, but let me know what you think in the comments right now. I got to go trick-or-treating with my kids. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween. I love you guys. Tap that thumbs up if you love America. And stay tuned because Professor Nez always has more for you. Quite frankly, probably he's my favorite YouTube channel because he tells the truth. He's not nasty like Kamala. He's not Kamala or Trende Aragua. I love you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you soon.